Hi guys, welcome back. And today in this video we'll be talking about LangChain version 1.0, which is a new version released like 10 days before. And we're going to talk about how this LangChain version 1.0 has broken completely all my Udemy courses. That's what exactly, which has triggered me to create this video, and of course the upgrade to my courses. If you go to my Udemy, where I have been talking about artificial intelligence a lot, large language model a lot, where I have got more than 6 courses which just talks about large language models, AIs, AI agents, and how you can build AI agents and stuff over here, as you can see. And one of the courses, as you can see over here, is the build test AI agents and chatbots and RAGs using Ollama and local large language model. It actually uses LangChain for doing that. Similarly, this particular test AI and large language model app with the DeepEval RAGAs, it also uses LangChain. Similarly, building Gen AI and multi-agent system tools for software testing, it also uses LangChains with some other tools like AutoGens and things. And you can see that this particular course over here, build and test AI agents, chatbots, RAGs with Ollama and local large language model, it actually has got all the information related to how you can work with the LangChain basics and how you can work with chains, runnables, histories, chatbots, RAGs, tool callings, building an AI agents and everything. So everything is covered in this particular course. But with the recent version of the 1.0, many things have changed, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this particular video. But before we get into the breaking changes of the LangChain, let's talk about the new features of the LangChain 1.0. Well, they have introduced few bunch of features which are pretty interesting. One of them is the simplified and unified namespace. So now you have got a very clean namespace where you can see that it's more sensible to understand how exactly you can get a class from a given package. Like LangChain.agents is for agents, as it names. .message is for the message types like human message or the system message or AI message, whatever that you use, it's going to be sitting on that particular thing. For tools, you're just going to say .tools to get the add tools and the base tools properties, same thing which you decorate to create a tool call for that particular agent. It's also been re-exported to the LangChain core, so you can also use the LangChain-core to get the same exact add tools as well. And there is a chat mode and embedding, which is also more clear because it tells you what exactly is that. And for the older version of the features, which are currently being moved out from this particular package, is now sitting in the LangChain-classic package. So you got to install this particular LangChain-classic package where you are going to see the legacy chain and chain implementation. So all these, the pipe symbols with the chainings that we were doing before now have moved into the legacy chaining features, which is bad. And we also have got the multi-query retrieval as well as the retrieval QA, and all those things have been moved into the LangChain Classic. Also, if you're using the LangChain Hub, it's moved to the LangChain Classic as well. So everything is sitting in this particular package. That's the simplified namespace for you. And then creating agents with middlewares is also improved quite a lot. So you can create an agent with a middleware which is more streamlined, and now it's very much relied on the simplicity. And also they have an option where you can specify a right amount of tokens to be passed to the agent and the large language model before it even start bloating your large language model with too much of tokens and information. So that's where the major focus of version 1.0 was, and that's they have delivered, which is pretty amazing. So that's one thing that is also very, very interesting. I'll talk about this agent in a minute. And then we also have got a content blocks property, which is a property which is like a superset of the content property. So if you have worked with the content property before, you always know that it will give you a text information alone. But now with the content block property, you can get a lot more information like the tool calls. If your large language model has got reasoning capabilities, like many of the models do have these days, so you can also get the reasoning details. And if you have a model which is gonna give you the text information, you can get the text. Similarly, image, videos, URL, whatever that you name it, you can get all of these message types from this guy. And you can see that you can also now set the reasoning as true for the chat Ollama, so it will enable your large language model to start thinking, and you can get the output as well. And if you are using the OpenAI model, you can also control those reasonings with this particular feature, like reasoning, and you can set the effort as medium to get the medium reasoning. If you set high, then the reasoning will be very high, and also the summary is going to be auto, concise, and detailed, whatever. You can set all of these. These are the new features which has come through here. So that's what I feel like, these are new features there. But let's talk about some of the middleware detail that I was talking about. This is also quite interesting, where you can see that you can set middleware information for passing it within your agent, and you can see that this middleware can be controlled. You can actually control how your tool should run this particular agent, and how many threads it has to limit to, and what is the run limit, and everything you can set in this tool called limit middleware. But you can see there are a bunch of custom middlewares available, like context editing middleware, human in loop middleware, and then LLM tool selection middleware, LLM tool emulator. I mean, that's not a middleware, to be honest. And then there is a model called limit middlewares, and there are so many of them. So you can use any of these middleware, which is also quite interesting. And you see how they are going to improve your way of controlling your agent within your code capabilities that you are building. And then finally, we're going to see some of the breaking changes which has come to my code, which I have built for my courses in Udemy. That is nothing but this course that I'm talking about over here. So all of these changes are going to roll out to this particular course quite sooner. So just stay tuned if you have purchased that course before. So you can see that this particular breaking changes over here are something like the LangChain.prompts is now moved to LangChain_core.prompts. That's how you can get the chat prompt template moving forward. And then if you're using the retriever, then you should be using the retriever.invoke method instead of the get relevant documents. So no more relevant documents. It's just invoke, very streamlined, like how it used to happen with the agents or the LLMs for you. And similarly, the hub has been moved, as I told you before. Now it has moved to LangChain hub. But if you still prefer to use the hub which is there in the classic, then you need to install the classic package to get them all out. And finally, the retriever QA is deprecated, and it's no more a thing anymore. So these are the things that are the breaking changes that you have got. And especially in the retriever QA, as I told you, you can't use this anymore. That LangChain.chain, this package doesn't even exist anymore. You have to use the LangChain_core.prompts, and then you need to create your own retrieval QA, like how I have did over here with runnable pass-throughs. And again, we have discussed about runnables and runnable pass-throughs in our course. So go ahead and watch there. It's quite amazing, like how you can build them. And finally, agents. As I told you, like this is one thing which is very important that I wanted to share to you, is that the changes are really good and they are more welcoming, because now it's very, very streamlined. So how it looks like is that earlier we used to write code something like this, as you can see over here, like initialize agents, tools, and LLMs, and agent type, like structured, chat, zero, short, React description. To be honest, it's one of the most longest property I've ever seen. And those are completely gone as well. And now it's all moved to very simple, create agent, and then you can specify the tools, models, and system prompt like that. And then you can invoke it instead of run method. You can just call the invoke. Invoke is still there, but you can use invoke, very streamlined this time. And you can pass the human message there. So no more query like a string. Now you have to specify whether it is a human message or a system message or AI message that you're passing in. You can specify all of them over here, and you get the content. So this is where the content comes in. And if you're going to use the content block, then things will be even more interesting, because you can also get the content block with more information, which I will quickly show you in a demo over here. So if you just go to this particular code, again, this code is something which I'm building for the course. So this is going to be rolling out pretty soon to the course. But you can see that right now with this particular feature of the content block, you can see that I can go and create this particular agent over here. And with the content block, you can also specify what type of message that is. It the type which is returned from the large language model? Is it a tool call, or is it a reasoning, or is it a text message that is going to be getting as an output for your prompt that you have passed in? I am passing many of the prompts over here, so I can pass in all of them, and then I can get all the responses over there, and it's going to give you the details. So the moment I'm going to run this particular code over here, and this particular model which I'm using is a reasoning model. So hopefully I should see the reasoning text as well as the type of text that I'm going to be getting out as a response from this particular large language model. And basically this is an agent, so it is going to call a bunch of tools for me over there, and these tools can be an addition tool, subtraction tool, Wikipedia tools, or even some of the Playwright custom tool that I have used over there. And you can see that currently it just returns me text there. It's not really returning me the reasoning over there. But the moment I'm going to change from the QN3 coder model to the GPT OS's latest model, which is currently running within my local machine over here. And now if I'm going to run this guy, and if I'm going to go back and run this same code that I was just trying to run before, you should see not only the text, but you'll also hopefully see the reasoning as well. This is one of the welcoming change which they have introduced, and you can see that the agent is now more simplified because you just have to specify the tool, the model, that's it, and the middleware. If you are going to limit the tool calls, which in my case is the Wikipedia tool that I'm limiting in. So that's how things are going to happen. And these are some of the changes that we can see that's coming through in version 1.0. So if you have purchased any of my courses that I was just showing you, don't panic. Those courses are going to be updated pretty soon. And you should see all the upgrades that I was talking about flowing into the course. And you'll see that this time, because I'm using a reasoning model just running within my local machine, I also get the reasoning details over here saying reasoning. We need to answer the sum of 2 and 5 is 7. Movie Tom Cruise hitting theater in 2025. The user likely meant the movie which will be in theater 2025 starting Tom. So you see that this is going to give you all the reasoning that this particular large language model has done before it gave me this particular answer for us over here. That's all, guys. These are the changes for LangChain version 1.0, and I hope you like this particular video. If you like it, hit subscribe and also hit the like button. But once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more updates in LangChain in my other videos as well as in the courses. Catch you in the next one.